Hello, welcome to the second in the series of the Get More Paying Clients for Your Coaching Business. My name is Dave Holland, and joining me today, drinking a cup of tea there over in the UK, but on his birthday as well, and that should be champagne, not tea. But Mr. Gareth Hughes, welcome. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. I think I'll have a red wine after this.
I think you deserve it. You should have brought it onto the call, really. But your birthday, so happy birthday from everybody.
Thank
and anything exciting today, or is it just another day in the life of
we had a Chinese takeaway.
So we can't even do that over here. We don't have Chinese takeaways.
Oh, really? All right.
Not the same. Not the same sort of thing. They do, but they're not the same. It's different, different style, different styles. So
nice.
never mind. Yeah. Anyway, great to see you. And we're talking about two things: marketing and lead generation. Same sort of thing. There are some sort of differences between the two, but specifically for coaches, how they can attract more leads, more prospects, more people interested in their services. And then next week, I think we're going to be talking about how to sell, how to sort of close, convert, upsell, cross-sell. So that'll be number 3 as we go along. But in terms of visibility, marketing and generating leads, I mean, I know you've been in the business for about 45 years now, I think. It feels like it, doesn't it? But what do you find? What's the biggest mistake, if you like, that coaches make when it comes to marketing and generating interest?
I think it's assuming people want to be coached. As a starter, I think that's the thing. But I think the other thing is what coaches do is they don't take their own medicine in a lot of ways. And when you're talking with a client, you might say, okay, this you're going to do X, Y, Z. What's your goal? Yeah. And then you say that to a coach, and they go, "Well, I don't know." So I think first is have a goal.
Yes.
People don't have a goal, and how granular can you get with that? So. Say you're doing networking. Well, how many one-to-ones do you want a week from networking? Pick a number. And or how many new connections do you want from networking each week? And I think people go, "Oh, yeah, I'm doing marketing. I attended a Chamber of Commerce networking event, and like three months ago."
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's the second mistake, is that people aren't consistent. With it. Yeah. I think you've heard the line before, and I've heard the line. We used to do that and it worked.
Yes.
We stopped doing it. It worked so well, you stopped doing it. Yeah. So I think not being consistent enough with the marketing.
Yeah, I think that a lot of coaches come into the profession, call it the profession, and I think they don't even define. They don't know who their clients are. They don't know who. We looked at sort of targeting last week a little bit. When it comes down to visibility and marketing, I noticed a lot of clients. So a lot of just a second. We have people dialing in. Look at this. This is excellent. So we'll just welcome people onto the call, which is great. We have started, but it's really good. So we better say hello to Michelle and Yannick. Good afternoon, Michelle. Hi there. Good afternoon. Good evening. Welcome.
Hi. Good evening.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. I just saw your message on LinkedIn. My apologies. We just sort of started off 2 minutes ago. You haven't missed anything, I guarantee it. But good to see you. So where in the world are you, Michelle? Where are you based?
Today I'm in Koblenz, Germany, but otherwise I'm in Luxembourg also.
Koblenz, I've been to, but we're based out of Luxembourg. We have offices in Schengen, over on by Remisch on the Moselle, which is beautiful. Excellent. So in Luxembourg, do you have your own business? Are you a coach, or do you work for somebody else?
I work on my own business, so it's called Rubik's Potential. It's with coaching and consulting. So I'm currently developing some more training programs.
Excellent.
And so that's the one part. And then the other part is that I work as a freelancer actually for a company in the UK. So it's a young startup, and we aim to build a real coach bot.
Okay.
So that more people have access to coaching, and not just those that can actually afford it.
Okay.
I bring in the psychological part because my background comes from psychology.
Fantastic. Okay, well, welcome to the conversation. Welcome to the call. Gareth and I we're talking about marketing, visibility, lead generation today as well. And Yannick, welcome. I know Yannick was with us last week as well. Are you with us this evening, Yannick?
Good evening. Yeah, can you
Evening.
hear
And
me?
your internet is working this week.
Yeah, it seems to be working. Yeah.
Fantastic. Welcome to the call. So
Good
you
evening.
meet Michelle and Gareth and me and that sort of thing.
Nice to meet you guys.
Likewise. So we're just sort of starting off the conversation, and any questions you may have, please, if you just type them in to the message box and we'll get to them. We're going to sort of go for about sort of half an hour, 35 minutes, and then we'll break out for just a conversation between us about how things can work in the coaching world. But welcome. Great to see you. Welcome aboard. And I forgot where we were now, Gareth, but we were talking about what the mistakes that coaches make when it comes to marketing. And I think one of the things I've noticed as well is that a lot of coaches think that people are broken and they want to fix them. They want to, they're damaged, they're broken, they need repairing and putting back together again. And that people aren't like that. I mean, most of the people that I work with, and I'm sure for yourself as well, none of them are broken. They are all, initially they're successful, they're competent, they're good people. They just want to do more and break through some barriers maybe and excel in other things they want to do. I think that's a big mistake for a lot of coaches, because people who are I don't like the term broken, but aren't doing great, they're perceived as being broken. Well, you don't really want them as clients, and you don't want a coach. You want somebody else to help you. So I think that can be a different message they send out to people if they're not very careful as well.
Yeah, I get business owners who tell me, I've got a good business. I've got this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem, and this problem, but I've got a good business.
Yeah,
and that is that is true. I often say at that point, well, if you didn't have a good business, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Absolutely.
Because I only work with successful people.
Yeah.
So, absolutely agree. Yeah, it's.
And I mean, I've never seen the perfect business either. I think business owners beat themselves up a little bit, to be fair, about challenges around cash flow or whatever it is. There's no such thing as a perfect business, but most businesses have this potential to grow. And I think from a marketing point of view, that's what coaches need to tap into, whether you are in the business coaching sector or life coaching and personal development, whatever it is. I think it's that playing to people's strengths rather than trying to fix their weaknesses to a certain extent. That's more attractive. At least that's my experience with my marketing. Anyway, I think you market and you get what you send out there, don't you? So if you want successful people, then you request successful people to contact you.
Yeah, definitely. And there is a point there where all coaching should be, in my mind, all it should all be free. But not free, and as you don't send out invoices, but free as in you're making more money than you're paying the coach. If that
absolutely right. Yes.
And a lot of people see it as a cost as well. It's not.
Do you think the coaches see it as a cost as well in their mindset as well?
Yeah, the amount of coaches I speak to at networking events, for example, and they go, "Oh yeah, I'm a coach." I'm like, "Oh, brilliant! Who's your coach?" And they go, "Well, no, I am the coach." And you go, "Yeah, but coaching works, right?" Yeah. And they go, "Yeah, of course it works." Well, so why wouldn't you do it?
Absolutely. Where's yours then? Where's yours coming from? Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a big factor as well.
Yeah.
Not take, as I said at the start, it's not taking your own medicine.
Yeah.
I
think looking at some, I mean, people say to me, what's it cost to work with a business coach? And I actually say to them, as I'm sure you say, well, nothing. If you do what we show you, then you're going to be better off, because otherwise we're just a pain in the neck. We're a weekly irritant that turns up in your business and just slaps you around and leaves you in. You don't want that. It's got to be a benefit to it, and therefore it should be free at the point of receipt, because the business grows around it, which is the real key. And I think when it comes to marketing and visibility, a lot of coaches are invisible. They're not doing structured marketing or even just visibility on social media. And you can see some of the posts that they do. I think that the two sides of marketing, sort of general above the line visibility, website, social media, and then the sort of below the line targeting direct. I mean, what's your thoughts? I know you're very active, as I am as well, around the social media side. What sort of things do you find work for you? What's really effective?
I think that's an interesting. I think what works, it all works.
Yeah.
I think it depends on how consistent you are, what level you do it to. Yeah. Let's take something that most coaches probably don't do, which they should be doing, which is direct marketing and direct mail, or telemarketing or something like that,
Yeah.
you know, they might say, oh, you know, that won't work for my business. It does work for your business. You just need to know your numbers. And you just need to know that I make 50 calls, I get through to 10 decision makers, I get 5 appointments, I get 1 client.
Yeah.
You know, and if I said to you, I need you to make 50 calls, but I promise I'll give you a client at the end of those 50 calls.
Yeah.
You'd make them.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yet people shy away from the direct telemarketing for a number of reasons. I think.
Yeah.
I think there's a tendency for coaches to be of a creative kind of mindset, and therefore don't believe in the direct marketing. I don't know.
Maybe.
You know, or they feel like the universe is just going to send them clients or something like that. You know, which it will, but you have to take the action in order to get there. You know, you can't just you can't own your way to clients. I don't think is the.
But I think a lot of coaches, and this is not, I mean, we're talking about coaches specifically here, but it applies to lots of different professions, I think, is where people have this talent to be a great coach or a great accountant, great lawyer, whatever it is, but they don't like anything to do with marketing and sales. It's sort of a grubby where they don't want to get involved in that sort of stuff and get down in the trenches and do these sort of things and go and shake people's hands at a networking event, you know, when we're allowed to. Whereas in actual fact, you know, we're in the things we said last week, we're in the sales and marketing business before we're in the coaching business, and you've got to be out there doing these things and building connections and building visibility, and I think of building your brand and reputation, because you know we're almost like a grudge purchase. I was speaking with a client, and he's a patent attorney in the UK earlier on today, and we're talking about this, and he recognizes he's a fabulous lawyer. Brilliant, highly qualified, highly experienced, one of the top guys in the country, but he's recognized he's actually a grudge purchase. Nobody really wants to have to pay for a lawyer to do your patents. And I think it's the same with a coach to a degree, that we have to sort of prove ourselves and get up there and prove the value. And that's the marketing message we need to send out there.
Yeah, and I think there's 2 things there. One is like being a great coach isn't good enough to get clients, if that makes sense. You know, you can be the best coach, you can be the best anything in the world, but if you haven't got people paying you, then you're not going to be able to afford the mortgage.
Absolutely
kind of thing. And the other thing is, you know, if we viewed it differently, so change the narrative around sales and marketing, and all you're doing is you're coaching, really. You're just doing it in a different way. And you're not selling. You're coaching to a decision.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that decision is no, and that, you know, but or not now. I think is probably the best.
Yeah.
But if you change your mindset to, am I marketing or am I coaching? You know, you're doing it in a different way, but you still are coaching, really.
I mean, but I mean, this, I think, it's a great point that you make. But does this come back to the ability of the coach to actually be a coach? Because I do see in this particular sector, we're pretty saturated now with coaches. A lot of coaches out there doing stuff. There's some great coaches out there doing fabulous work and amazing, absolutely. And there's some that maybe aren't so great, as there are in every sector. But to me, as you're saying, the conversation with the prospects is just the start of the coaching relationship, during which at some point they will say, yeah, we're on, we're away. They send me a check or make a payment or something like that. It's not a sort of a sales system and a marketing system, and then we do some coaching stuff. It's just a coaching conversation, part of which becomes the agreement to get on and do something. And I wonder if it's the sort of the caliber, the ability of the coaches to be able to have these coaching conversations rather than, you know, just try and sell something. Actually coach people, as you say, coach people to a decision.
Yeah, definitely. And they've got to see prospectors to see the value in that conversation as well. And that doesn't mean, I think as we might talk about this next week, but as coaches, we're so keen to go, you know, I'm a coach, like I said at the start, I can solve your problems. Oh, time is your issue. Here's this tool.
Absolutely. Yes.
Your team is the issue. Oh, here's this tool.
Yes.
Right. We forget the coaching part of that, and we almost give. And there's 2 things. I think there's overwhelm and there's underwhelm. You know, there's overwhelm in the amount of stuff that we try and force onto a prospect. But then there's underwhelm, and you know, and almost like I'm paying for diary management. Yeah, I'm doing.
Yes.
I'm paying you what for a default diary, or you say plan my day. That's just cost me X amount.
It's just cost me $1,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks for that.
And
Thanks for that.
And you said plan your day, and
Yes. Yeah.
so there's underwhelm, and that's two areas I think we don't manage very
Yeah.
well.
I think there is this little myth, I think, that people put their content out on Facebook or LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever it is, and they just put a post out there. Miraculously, people are going to start queuing up at their door, and it just doesn't happen. It's really frustrating. Then.
Yeah, well, when that happens, let me know.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? That would be cool, wouldn't it?
I mean, it's a piece of the puzzle, isn't it? It's a piece of the puzzle, but it's not the full puzzle.
Yeah.
You have to be direct in a lot of not pushy.
No, exactly.
But you have to be direct, because how do people know to look at your content if you're not connecting with them in messages? And so you got to point people towards your content in
But I think the things that it was explained to me, and this, I mean, I'm sure with yourself as well, and for many people. And by the way, Franny is just dialing in, which is great. So we'll say hello in a second. But when I was in sales, I started my sales career when I was selling industrial packaging, so plastic bags and cardboard boxes in and around the West Midlands in the UK. If you want a sexy sales job, that's not the one, okay? Selling plastic bags and cardboard boxes around, anyway. But I was taught then, one of my sales director took me to one side. He said, look, he said, marketing and sales, he said, it's just the same, it's a process. It's not an event, it's a process. And they joined up. And he said, you have a conversation, you nurture people, you push people through, and then they agree to buy from you. It's got to take time to build relationships. And he said, you're in the relationship business first. And this was back in, when did I start that? That was back in about 1986, 87. My God, it's a long time ago.
And I think
but anyway, those things haven't changed. The base principles that we did back then, I do sound like some old fart now talking, I know that, but we didn't have internet, we didn't have mobile phones, we had nothing. We were still in the relationship business. And I think that's a trick that maybe social media has masked over now, because it's all systemized and structured, and we forget this. It's actually a person on the end of the screen or the phone that is thinking, do I trust this guy, this gal, this person? Do I trust them enough to reach out to them? And that's all marketing is, I think, really, is the building that relationship and trust.
And there's a few areas there. Marketing is definitely a process, and people think the marketing ends when they sign as a client, and that's not true.
Right. No.
Every contact you ever have, every email you send, every phone call you make, every session you have, everything is, and that includes with past clients, current clients, and future clients, is marketing.
Yeah.
You do it in a different way. But it's still all marketing.
Absolutely.
You still need to market to your current clients. I think that's really important.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely right.
You might do a bit higher ticket, and you might do a bit high level, but you still got to market to them. And
it's consistent.
Give more value. You still got to market. Absolutely.
So if we've got, let's say there's a new coach or new person new to coaching, listening to us, and maybe not on the call, more seasoned campaigners on the call maybe, but the new, what would you they want to get some clients, want to do some marketing, what are the top 3 or 4 things you'd advise that they do? What do you think would be a good start point for any coach now? What do they start with?
Oh, that's a big question.
I know. Well, if I ask you first, means I can think while you're answering it. There we go.
Definitely. So I think one of the things we talked about last week, and I would absolutely, say, is before you do anything, understand who your ideal client is.
Yeah.
Understand their pain points. Understand what answer the question, what keeps them up at night.
Yeah.
I think, and once you've got that really nailed, and I think we said it before, but it's worth saying again. When somebody says anybody who, like that's not an ideal target, right? Yeah. So I want to know names. I want to know, where their kids go to school. What car do they drive? Where do they hang out? Where do they go to the gym? What do they do at weekends? What are their hobbies? That kind of thing. So I think get that nailed, absolutely, and then start. This is right.
Do something.
Yeah, just do something. Anything.
Right.
Yeah, just get yourself out there and do it, and don't wait for people to come to you, because they won't. I'm telling you now, they won't. You definitely go to networking. events, get out there, have as many one-to-ones as you can. But like we said at the start, have a goal.
Yeah.
So how many new connections do I want to make at this networking event? How many new one-to-ones do I want to have at this networking event, or from this networking event? Think whatever your ideal client comes out as, that's the kind of social platform that you need to look at, whether that's Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever, wherever they hang out digitally and physically, you need to hang out as well. I think. And one thing I did pretty early, and it worked really well actually, was strategic partnerships with places where your ideal client hangs out. Mine happens to be business owners, so I'm going to form strategic partnerships with professional services, so accounting, solicitors, recruitment agents. Recruitment agencies are a good one for business. They, because a business owner only ever goes there when they're growing.
That's right, exactly.
So what do they need when they're growing? They need a business coach.
Or when they really suck at leadership and everybody keeps leaving them. They need us anyway, which is fine.
Yeah, definitely. So I find so you got to go about it the right way as well. Don't just. This is probably the mistake I made, was thinking everybody's going to love me and accountants are going to love me and they're going to open up their client book to me, which if you have any strategic partnerships with accountants, that doesn't happen.
No, exactly.
They're very protective of their client book. But a way around that I found was doing seminars with accountants. So hey, you half fill a room, I'll half fill a room. You talk for an hour, I'll talk for an hour. And then we'll see what happens after that. And if anybody likes me, and that was a good way around it. So doing seminars is a good.
I think that the sort of being on stage, I think is key.
I knew you were going to say that.
But I'm going to go. I'm looking for the opportunity to jump in. I've been thinking now while you've been answering. I'm looking for the gap. I was going to jump before you steal my thunder as well.
Yeah. I think anywhere where you can become that thought leader in whatever field you are, then I think that's going to help you. The only problem with that is, I think you touched on it. People go, "Oh, I'm posting on LinkedIn. Everybody's going to be queuing up."
No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way.
That doesn't happen. It takes time. This overnight success thing, the kind of YouTube stars, is kind of muddied the waters with how long it actually takes to become a success on social media. But it does work. That's the thing. You just need to be really consistent.
But I think it depends what you put out. I see a lot of coaches putting content out there, which is they put a motivational quote out there. If you think you can or you think you can't, both ways you're right. And you go, thank you. Wow, I've never heard that before. That's transformational, or whatever it is. There's always some little motivational quip, and I just think that is so blooming sort of passe now in the coaching world that if anybody hasn't heard that quote yet, I think it's been attributed to Henry Ford. I don't know whether he said it or not, but crikey, that's 100 years ago.
I've seen it attributed to Henry Ford, Eleanor Roosevelt. I think a couple of others as well. The Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, whatever you like, just anything will do with it. But I think that I went to a conference years ago. It was in Portugal. And the guy on stage doing a sort of half an hour talk, a gig, if you like, and he just put a picture up of him as a child, as a sort of 4-year-old, sat on his dad's knee, and it's an old black and white print. And he just talked about the relationship with his dad, what his dad taught him, and how life went and career and things like that. And it was compelling. And I met him in the bar afterwards, because when I was doing presentations, I'd be talking about strategy and tactics and finance and leverage and all this sort of exciting stuff, whatever. And I said to him, "You didn't talk about business at all when you did that presentation." He said, "No, I've learned that people aren't interested in business. What they're interested in is me and my story, my credibility, my background. And so I just tell my story." So when I got back over to the UK, I have a picture of an old shop that my grandparents used to run, and I was involved in the business, and I told that story at some chamber event or something. That was it. And it was like, wow. But I think when people tell their honest personal story, share their journey, if you like, with people, and it's honest and interesting, that's probably the most compelling thing. So I think it active, yes, but don't just put out there
motivational quotes and things like that. Michelle, bless you. Sorry, sneezing there. Oh, good. And welcome, Franny, as well. I know you joined the call. Welcome. You're welcome to say hi. We're gonna have some Q&A in a few minutes, but welcome to the call. But when I did it, it was really that sort of, the response was great, because the response I got was people said, I know exactly what you mean. I know what you were feeling. I know what you're going through. There's that sort of synergy, and away we went. So that revealing yourself in terms of your style and personality. I know you've got a compelling story yourself. I don't know you tell it, but it really is something that defines you in the market, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two things. People buy from people.
Yeah.
And also, people buy on emotion.
Yeah.
Rather than logic, and that's what you got to hit. I think in your marketing and in your touch points. I think if you're not creating, I just reiterate what you said. If you're not creating that relationship and hitting emotion in your marketing, arguably, are you even marketing?
Absolutely, yeah, it's true. Yeah,
but
the thing is, you said, I think coaching is an emotional purchase, not a logical purchase. Nobody in the right mind, nobody logically, because logically it doesn't work, does it?
Yeah.
Logically, it's like, I'm going to pay you this to tell me it doesn't work.
Yeah, you tell me stuff I already know.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, you tell me what time it is when I want my own watch. All these I've heard all these things before. So logically, so if you sell an emotional service, logically it won't work. It has to be, as you say, I think there's emotional construct to it. I think everybody that works with us, I'm sure works with you as well, they had this emotional connection, love, it would be a good one, but anyway, but there's some sort of degree of emotion in there to convince them to buy and get on with it as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I just ran a 4-part workshop, and at the end of it I said, what did you get out of the workshop? And I said, what, you didn't say anything groundbreaking. And I thought, that's disappointing.
That doesn't sound good, does it?
Yeah. But it's all stuff I know.
Yeah.
But I just don't do.
Absolutely.
And it's it's stuff that I should be doing, but I just don't, because the phone rings and the person comes in with a problem and the client calls and stuff like that. And I think that's, when you say logically it doesn't work, you're right, it doesn't, because it's there's no magic wand, there's no magic pill.
Exactly.
But it does work if in the emotional sense of it.
Absolutely, I think so. Everybody has to. But I think we look at from a lead generation point of view and marketing visibility. If you've got the confidence to put your story out there, this is me, good, bad, and indifferent. Here's what I've done, where I've been, all this sort of thing. That will attract people to you much more than just doing here's a discount deal and blah, blah, blah. Nobody's going to buy that sort of stuff. They want to buy into a strong personality. And I wonder if a lot of coaches out there, I think there's two things. I wonder if coaches have actually got a compelling story, some haven't, and they haven't got a compelling story. They mask it with just stuff and quotes. But if they have got a compelling story, which again a lot of people have, they've got to be prepared to share it and be not only judged on it, but have it exposed, good, bad, or indifferent, have it exposed. And I tell my story about things I got up to as a youngster and whatever, and I know you do as well. And it's quite cathartic to a degree, but it is a bit of a risk putting it out there to tell people all this sort of stuff we've got up to. I told the story about being on an ID parade, and I was picked out on a murder ID parade, and it's like, crikey, this is good. But the one guy couldn't handle it. He said, well, what do you mean on an ID parade? I had to explain to him, it wasn't me. It was anyway. But there is a risk in doing that sort of thing as well, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm the first one to admit I don't like putting myself out there.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I'm just not that sort of person, and but you got to get over yourself. I think
so. Just get over it.
I think like with videos on LinkedIn, somebody said, I think somebody was on your workshop actually, and said, what's your secret to getting started with videos? And it was kind of like, do it.
That's right. Turn it on. Press the record button.
Camera and start talking. That kind of thing. And you just got to, and I think he said, well, I just can't do it at the moment. And I sent him back a few words, which was, get over yourself.
There you go. Exactly. Just get on with it. It's just like, what are you thinking? But again, but doing a video, putting some content out. The videos are great. Stage work is great. Putting a story out there, and I don't know why people don't do more of it. I really don't understand what the fear is, either about talking to a camera and recording for 2 minutes, talking about something that's interesting. I've never understood that. I mean, I'm because it's interesting. I'm actually. I'm an introvert, not an extrovert. That's my natural. So it should be for me really difficult to be on stage and being out there and this sort of thing. But I don't know what it is, but I can do it. But I can go and lie in a dark corner afterwards. So after this, I'm done. That's it. I'm going to lie down and curl up in a man cave. But even if you're an introvert, put the story out there. It's absolutely fine, and don't worry about being judged or anything like that. Just crack on with it.
Well, no, I think this is what people don't get is you go, oh, some people won't like it.
Yeah, that's right.
No, some people won't.
That's right.
Yeah, they're not your clients. Good. You've it's deselection, not selection, if that makes sense. And if somebody doesn't like what you've put out there, great. That's the best thing in the automated email world is that unsubscribe button.
Exactly right. Yes.
People are like, oh, what if somebody unsubscribes? They're not going to buy from you, so don't worry about it.
Get rid of them. Exactly right. But it does take this sort of definite approach, a confident approach to things, to be okay with a bit of rejection, a bit of pushback, and being told.
If you're not good with rejection, don't be a coach.
Exactly. Yeah, you've got to be able.
This world is all about rejection. And I think the key is not to take it. I mean, the flip side of that is another piece of your marketing is all the good stuff, like all the good testimonials that you get from clients or past clients or whatever. And again, I think people miss the mark on that. They sort of go, oh, David was a great coach, definitely use him. That's not a testimonial, right?
No, exactly.
So,
no, it just means I wrote that and sent it to them.
It's true, but but it's not a testimonial. A great testimonial does. What was the problem?
Yep.
How did David help?
Yeah.
And what were the results?
Exactly.
Those are the three things a good testimonial should include.
Yeah.
And if it's got all those elements, then that's a great marketing.
And getting a testimonial from your mum or your dad doesn't count.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just doesn't work.
What is that about as well? Yeah.
Goodness sake.
Yeah.
But I think, so in terms of just, I'm interested about rejection. What's the best rejection you've ever had as a coach? Sales meeting or something like that. What's the best pushback you've ever got? I've got a couple, but
yeah, I mean, I've been thrown out of an office before.
Really? Excellent. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Somebody said a line to me, which was, I think we started talking, and I've never heard this phrase before. Yeah. It must be a very British phrase, or I don't know. I'd never heard it before. But I kind of just outlined how the session was going to go. And I said, do you have any questions? And he said, look, if you're going to steal my watch and then ask me for the time, this is going nowhere. And I was like, what?
Get out of that one.
I said to him, I didn't quite know what he meant, right? I get it now, but I didn't quite know what he meant. But I said, he goes, well, is that it? And I said, well, look, just before we get started, what's the time? And he went, oh yeah, very good. Right. So
you broke through the ice. Exactly. Yeah. No. I mean, the worst one I had was similar with the sound of it. I did this sort of conversation. This was back in the early days, and I turned up with my little briefcase and my little notebook and all, as you do, all this sort of thing. And we had a scripted, questionnaire to go through back then. Yeah. And I always hated. I only used it twice anyway. But anyway, I hated this questionnaire thing. And we go through these questions about this, and we're going through it. And after about 20 minutes, he said, "Is this all you're going to bloody well do?" I said, "What?" He said, "Just sit there with your little box and ask me questions." He said, "Because it's not going to work." I went, "Oh," and I didn't know what to say to him because everything was structured and systemized. And he said, "Look," he said, "I tell you what," he said, just leave." I went, "Right." And that was it. So I just left. And I was really deflated by that. And in hindsight, it was a good lesson because I was asking these structured questions, what's your revenue this quarter? I go, right, and what's your what's your margin? I had no idea what I was asking him why. It was horrible. And he was right, bless him, he was right. So it's a lesson in life. But yeah, he squatted off the premises pretty much.
Well, I think scripts are good, but I think you got to make them your own. And you're probably leafing through the script, going, "Where's that in the script?"
Exactly, it's right. You can't say that. What do you mean, get out? Just a minute, I can't find that.
The next thing you say is, "Yes, I'd really like to start coaching." Sure.
That's right. How does that make you feel? Oh, no, sorry, wrong question.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an easy trap to fall into.
Definitely.
All right. So, any sort of final observations, tips, marketing, lead gen, and that sort of thing? I mean, the one thing I think, just as a final wrap up before we go to the Q&A, is if you get a lead, if it's already messaged you or emails or texts, respond just real quick. Money like speed. Get back and respond really quick, because they go cold so quickly. People forget, and it's like generally with doing events and workshops. The people who sign up for events and workshops, some generally as tonight, some can make it, some can't. But I've had a couple of people who register for the workshop, and then you send them the Zoom link, and they go, "Why have you sent me this?" Well, you registered for the event, and they go, "No, I didn't. I didn't sign anything." So they really panic about signing up for something. So you've got to go back perhaps a bit quicker and get them warmed up as well. But I think speed is really key.
Yeah, speed is key. So I think what we haven't touched on is marketing. Marketing is a process, definitely.
Yeah.
Get your product right. We don't like to think of ourselves in terms of products.
Yeah.
But we are, we ultimately sell a product.
Mm-hmm.
We got to package that properly, and I think the process as well.
Yeah.
If you get the process right, you can kind of rinse and repeat with clients.
Yeah.
In general. So those are three things we didn't touch on, but they are really important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and a lot of coaches kind of miss the mark on the product. Thing as well. What do you actually sell?
Yes.
What do people buy from you?
What is your thing?
Yeah, because it's not coaching, that's for sure.
Nobody wants to buy coaching, do they? Who wants that?
No, they want the results.
Yes.
From coaching.
That's right.
But they don't want the coaching. Nobody, even athletes don't want coaching. But they want
of course not. No.
So
but it's like dentists, isn't it? There's no dentist in the world that markets who'd like some root canal treatment. They just don't do. There's no way you're going to buy that. What they market is the bright smile or the no pain or whatever it is. And the unfortunate way to get a bright smile is to have the root canal treatment. But it's like results and success. And the unfortunate way to get the result is you need to have a coach to come and kick you around a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you sell the kicking, nobody's going to buy that. No one in the right mind is going to buy that.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm going to come to your office every week, and I'm going to really emotionally beat
That's
you
right.
up. And,
how does that sound? Would you like that?
To do stuff, nobody buys that. That's right.
I'm going to get you to do things you don't want to do, feel uncomfortable,
yeah,
and bring my baseball bat with me. Would that be okay? Yeah. Great. Thanks very much. Okay, so fabulous, Gareth. Thank you. What we'll do, I think, we'll open it up to questions or discussion. There's 5 of us on the call now. So, Franny, welcome. I know you're joined the call, which is great. Please, would you like to introduce yourself to the group, to the gang? Just maybe say hello, who you are, where you're from, so we can make sure you're real. No. Or maybe not.
No, absolutely.
I don't know. Okay. So any questions? Any questions? Yannick, Michelle, please unmute, have a chat, just call in. Any questions, thoughts, observations?
So thanks first of all for the great input and information. And I have tons of questions actually.
Excellent.
Let me try to pick the first one. There's also Franny.
Oh, Franny, hi there. Welcome. Good to see you.
Hi, thank you. Good to be here. Enjoyed this very much.
Fabulous. We're just going to have a sort of general discussion, Q&A. So please feel free to join in as we go. Michelle's got a couple of questions. So let's join in the conversation. It'd be great.
Tons of questions.
Yeah, we'll be here all night. We're here all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my first one's actually the part with building trust. With the client, and I'm always wondering what's more useful or what gets you better towards the client by building trust with the brand and the process and the resources you have?
Mhm.
Or is it also maybe a little bit more on the people side, like the coach that's behind the person, the personality? Because I see both sides.
Mhm.
So I see a lot of coaches out there that are extremely unique, let's put it that way. And obviously they also have lots of followers, lots of a crowd, a tribe that connects. And then you have companies or organizations that try to be a little bit more professional in a way that they keep it clean and they put the company facade out there. And I'm just wondering, does it depend on the target group? Because I think B2C, like with customers, individuals, it's maybe different with businesses. But also in a business, there's a person behind. So yeah, what's the best approach? How do you
Great
see
question. That's a tricky question. So Gareth, over to you.
Yeah, I think the process. So there's a good phrase which people kept telling me at the very start of my coaching career, which meant absolutely nothing and it was of no use whatsoever, and that was be the coach. And um, I was asking very similar questions to you, and everybody just kept saying, "Well, just be the coach. Just be the coach." I'm like, what do you mean just be the that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't help me, right? And so I think there's two things. There's the process, absolutely doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. If you say you're going to get back to someone, get back to them. If you say you're going to phone someone, phone someone. Because don't forget, everything is a reflection of you. So if you're not doing that stuff, well, you're going to attract clients who are like that. Okay, so so that's one part of it. And the second part, which you said, which was the psychological part, the person behind the coach, and I think that's true as well. David, if you see your clients, they're all kind of like you.
They're all absolutely gorgeous like me, indeed. Absolutely.
And when you see my clients, they're all kind of like me as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They're not all the same as me, but they're kind of like me.
Yeah.
And I'm very big on kind of like disc profiling, and I've learned how to disc profile very quickly with someone, so that I can match their profile a little bit to make selling easier. Doesn't mean I change myself, just means I'm matching what they're doing or what the words that they're doing, because communication is the response you get, right? So if you're getting the wrong response, it's because you're not communicating effectively. So I think, and somebody says to me, "Oh, well, what disc profile does a coach need to be?" Well, all of them.
That's right.
At different times.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't mean that you change your personality, but it does mean that you change the way you communicate. I think that's really helpful. Be the coach is a cop out as far as I'm concerned. It's a horrible saying. I punch anyone who says it right now. So, David.
No, I think I had time to think now, hence I bowled it over to you. It's a great question. I think, and I kind of give my sort of experience of this in terms of marketing. I've found that being personality driven has been the best, because I don't think we're not a big organization particularly, but we don't have a brand. Nobody's ever heard of us. We haven't got a brand. What we do have though is a reputation. I think trust is based on reputation, which is backed by consistency. So providing I do things in a consistent way with no surprises. So for example, when I do my marketing, I think the message type is consistent. I use a bit of fun, a bit of humor, hopefully some good ideas and value, that type of thing. But you won't see me on LinkedIn, downing a pint of beer in the pub and singing and all that. You won't see me doing that. It's not my brand. And I think trust is based on repeatability and consistency. But I do think, I look at the clients that we work with, and we have, we're very fortunate. We have clients in Luxembourg. We have clients from, BNY Mellon. Michelle, you probably know these people because you're Luxembourg based. BNY Mellon or EIB, European Investment Bank, and both those organizations bought from us because they liked our style. It was nothing to do with our brand or our logo or anything like that. They liked our style. They saw what we did, what we stood for, and they had that consistent approach to it. So I think marketing via personality is key, but consistency is what builds that trust as well. If you do the same thing, same time, and we have certain rules around our branding, if like that we adhere to, do it consistently, people, and they know what to expect, they like it, they feel comfortable, and that ends up as trust. But I think personality is the key, and stand in front of your brand a little bit, I would have thought.
I love that comment. I love your comment. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, please. You see, we're having a general discussion.
That was so good. That's so right on, because you have to have someone that knows, likes, and trusts you, and you've got it. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah, it's true. So Franny, where are you based? Where are you calling in from?
Ecuador.
Ecuador. Wow, fantastic. Okay, this is truly an international call. Ecuador, fantastic. Oh, great. Well, you're really welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you. And I've done a ton of Zoom calls with my clients. They don't even know where I'm coming from.
Right. Okay.
Which is great. Yeah. So because I'm speaking English, not Spanish, so that helps a lot. But
fantastic.
I guess with COVID, what challenges have you seen, I guess, in the marketplace now that you didn't see a year ago? What do you think, or what are your thoughts?
I don't think a lot from a coaching perspective. I don't think coaches have transformed from physical appearance and networking face-to-face and meetings to presenting themselves in an online space and retaining that level of credibility. And what I mean by that is that if you're going to present yourself online only, we can't meet people now. We have to do it on a screen.
Exactly.
We have to be more revealing, more general in our approach, and reveal more about ourselves, be more honest and open. A lot of coaches haven't done that. I think they've assumed they can do the same thing. It's a bit bland for them, actually. I think we're okay online to do more storytelling, more visibility, and be more open and honest with people, tell them about ourselves as well. I think that's one of the changes I've seen that a lot of coaches aren't doing. But Gareth, what have you noticed the last 12 months? It's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you. One of the things I've noticed is I reveal things about myself. I just started a product called COVID Defense.
Yep.
I actually made the product. Okay, so now I'm taking it from a concept, did the product. Now the product launch is probably going to be in China with one of their marketing people that I got on LinkedIn from my 10,000 followers.
Okay.
And so basically, I found from one of my business partners in Romania that I'm going to be doing a virtual summit with about businesses.
Okay.
Basically told me about courier services, international courier services. So
yeah.
I am often running in so many different directions right now. I have been busier than I've ever been. And I still have my clients. But one of the things I noticed with my business clients, there's the fear factor. And I'm writing 2 books too. One is called, and I've just finished one, but I've got to get the other one out at the same time. It's Business Redesign. So it's the 21st century business model, and then Life Redesign. And I think the important thing is with the Life Redesign, you are your business. I mean, if you're a small business or an entrepreneur, you are it.
Yeah.
So whatever your weaknesses are the things that come out so quickly on, why the businesses are failing, or why they can't succeed, or why they can't find the market niches that they need to be in now that they didn't need to 2 years ago, 3 years ago, because it wasn't important. But now to niche down is more important than ever. And also with the virtual assistants and all the people and help that you can get, where, I can do so much with so many different groups of people without really hiring them on a full-time basis, but having them for my marketing in China, having somebody for marketing in Europe, having somebody for marketing in America, just all the markets that I want to go into. And then understanding the rules and regs and understanding what I can do from a distribution standpoint. You know, so it just, you know, more eye-opening than it's ever been for me.
Yeah.
You know, the coaching and life coach and business coaching, I did this with Tony Robbins for 25 years.
Wow.
As a volunteer, you know, and I was working at the same time, but I would take off for his events for 2 weeks, do it, you know, a couple times a year because I had a lot of vacation.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing it full time. So it's a whole lot different.
Sure.
But I'm seeing, but you know, it isn't different. It's different, but it's not different.
Yeah.
So I think like you said, I'm a lot more open about my background, and I'll tell funny stories like you do,
Yeah.
you know, because when I was 5 years old, you know, my mother would tell me to do something, put my hands on my hips and say, I'm a leader, not a follower. And then that did not go over very well. Okay, not as a 5-year-old.
I'm
So,
not,
but,
I'm not teaching that to my daughters.
That's right.
No,
Be careful.
do
I
not
think-
do that. Okay, but that was my attitude from when I was really, really young. My father had a business, so I worked in his business, doing his receipts every single night.
Yeah.
Learning his marketing and sales, learning everything that I'm doing now that I learned way back when. And it's still about marketing and sales. I mean, but there's so many different platforms and so many different ways to do things now that I love that most people are not open to or haven't understood. And I think that's the key for us as business coaches and also just life coaches, to help them get over these fears and to see where they are and what they need to do. So, and you guys are amazing. I love it. I have enjoyed this so tremendously. So thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
happy to be a part of it. You're both amazing. And I think that you would be so easy to work with. You guys are great. So,
He's
so I learned a lot.
He's more amazing
I
than I
learned a
am.
lot
I'll
just
tell
by
you. Much more amazing than I am.
I think
I learned a lot just by listening.
I
So
think,
thank you.
I think I saw a lot of coaches hunker down at the start and go, well, it'll pass, it'll pass, it'll
Yeah.
pass, it'll pass, it'll pass, it'll pass, it'll pass, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And I think very slow to adapt. You know, when COVID first started, I was saying to clients, get online quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I took my own medicine with that.
Yeah.
And I know you did as well. You know, I lost seminars. Seminars was a big lead generation source for me.
Absolutely.
In-person seminars, because I knew my numbers. I knew 15 in a room, 5 would want to have a conversation with me. You know, 3 would be serious. I'd sign 1.
Yeah.
So whenever I wanted a new client, I would have a seminar and fill the room with 15 people.
Yeah.
That's all I had to do. It was a rinse and repeat system. It was great. And I overnight, you know, lost that.
That's right.
And you know, had to go, and I was slow as well. You know, I was slow to get on webinars and get on online workshops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think I did it faster than most. Probably
Sure.
not as fast as you, but I think I had an attitude of, oh, let's just wait and see.
Right.
And then it became apparent that wait and see wasn't working.
Yeah.
so yeah.
Now, with all these coaches online, I mean, I'm a lot on Instagram, for example, also, and I mean, at least every second commercial that pops up is either a training for coaches how to receive more clients, and a 15 seconds seminar, and then obviously it's an upsell, or you have coaches that go very specifically onto a topic. And I wonder if you actually have the qualifications. You went through all of these studies, acquired the skills and the knowledge, and then you're up against these newcomers. And I mean, for people on social media, they don't differentiate,
no.
Right? So how can you actually make a bigger difference and position yourself in the right light? Is it really even worth in that moment going out there on all these channels, or would you recommend to keep on a regular but maybe less frequent basis posting your own stuff? but then going towards, as you say, the direct marketing and contacting people?
I think it's a great point you make. I think there's so many coaches out there. The market's saturated. It just everybody is a coach of some sort, lifestyle coach or business coach or something, whatever it is. There's a coach in it doesn't matter where they're based, but and they're a coach, a psychology coach for dogs. I mean, for goodness sake. Anyway, so there's coaches for every flavor, if you like. What I found, well, just for me, and we've had to learn this as we've gone along, what we do, and I think for Gareth as well, is if I can be the center of attention. And what I mean by that, if I can be interviewed by somebody, or I can be hosting a webinar, or I'm posting good content and being the perceived expert, I'm using the word perceived rather than actual, but if I can be the center of attention, that allows me to sort of punch through. So I think it's important to be on every platform, be visible. But when the lockdown started on the 15th of March, we were on lockdown here in France. And I remember, and I don't know why particularly, but on the 16th of March, I started doing a daily video, a blog video, updates from the lockdown, from the shelter, I think we called it, because we were lockdown. And I did that for about 12, the bunker. That was updates in the bunker. Thank you. Better memory than I've got. And that was just me talking about stuff, what the dogs are doing, what we're up to. I went to the shops today, which was a highlight. Nothing to do with business at all, but people liked it, and it attracted a lot of people to us. And it gave them a bit of hope and all this sort of thing. It wasn't the intention, but I think it's being that focal point of either knowledge or inspiration or consistency, because other people, other coaches, they won't do that. They'll put a post up once a month and hope for the best. They're not being consistent about it. So I think it's being that center of attention, I think, is really the key.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what you're asking really was, is it platforms, is it direct, is it networking, is it direct mailing? The answer is yes to all of those. Yeah. That's the thing. Marketing isn't one thing. It's a Facebook post followed by an e-shot, followed by a direct mailing, followed by, oh, that's the guy at the networking event. Yeah, and it all kind of joins up, and it's everything, and then you just find what works. Yeah, and you know your numbers. I think if you take anything away, it's knowing your numbers. Like that is absolutely key. Okay, how many coffees do I need to meet people in order to get a client? I know someone who's got a rule: 3 coffees, 1 client. There you go. For every three coffees he has with a new connection, he wants 1 client. 3 coffees. That's his rule: 3 coffees, 1 client.
Excellent.
So if you want a new client, you just goes and does 3 coffees, right?
Buy 3 coffees.
Does that answer the question, Michelle?
A little bit. I'm wondering now, the next question that came up is actually, how do you do it in online times where you can't go as easily and buy coffees just the same way? And I mean, at the same time, we have the opportunity that it can be more global. You can talk to people that are sitting in Russia or in America or Australia. Yeah. But obviously you can't just go and have a coffee. And for the networking events, I think it's also a little bit more difficult, because what we perceive also in other programs, you don't have this random informal networking anymore. It's not like it's done and then people scatter and some cluster and they talk, or someone comes up with a question. So is it enough to simply say, this is my email or my LinkedIn, or do you have specific calls to action that work really good?
Gareth, I mean, just real quick. No, sorry,
you can't just give it to me when you don't know the answer.
That's right. Yeah, if I don't know, I'll just pass it over. No, but I found, but Nancy, I think this is the slight change of mindset, and picking up on Franny's idea about what's happened in the last 12 months. Is I will absolutely reach out to somebody on LinkedIn or wherever it is and go, "Hi, like your profile, love what you're up to," this sort of thing. Fancy a Zoom coffee, have a virtual coffee. And we go, yeah, that'd be great. And so I have a coffee here in the middle of France. They can be sat in wherever it is, they have a coffee. So we do share a coffee, we do have a discussion. And I think because we're in this brave new world right now, that's as good as it can get. I think it's okay for local people to do that. But I think the fact that we've got, Gareth's in the UK, Michelle, you're in Koblenz over in Germany, Franny's in Ecuador, I'm in France. Yannick, are you in Russia? Are you in Russia?
North Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, so wow, we're in global on this. There's only 5 of us. We're global. That's changed. So I could drop a note to Franny and say, look, how do you fancy your coffee? And it's okay to do that now. 12 months ago, it would have been, are you insane? You know, what do you mean have a coffee over a video coffee? Are you nuts? Now I think it's actually okay to do that because we can't do anything else and we should capitalize. And so I've had meetings with people all over the world and we have clients in 38 countries. So I've never met most of them. I never met my clients and it's all done over video and Skype and this sort of thing and Zoom. Absolutely, it's fun. This is the brave new world. That's an opportunity, I think. So yeah, book a coffee anyway. Have a coffee with them. It's fine. I even send them the coffee. I'll send them the coffee in the post. I send them a Starbucks by Uber or something. You know, why not?
Yeah, I think. I think I was a sucker for it when. And this is probably not what you're asking, but I used to be a sucker for going for a coffee. And it's about from where I am. It's about 15 minutes to the Starbucks. You're probably having a coffee for half an hour. 15 minutes back, I've wasted an hour on a conversation that I knew wasn't going to go anywhere. And now I think I'm a lot more focused. I'm a lot more targeted about who I do that with.
Yeah,
I think that's what's changed for me.
But I think you can still do it. I think virtual is absolutely fine. Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to add is you can't be everything to everybody. You have to really, excuse me, know what your skill set is and know what the problems are, like you said, that the individual has. I mean, from a life skill set, I've had 2 divorces. I've had a multitude of things. Okay, so there's so many ways because of your background that you will attract the people that I think somehow there's just that connection that just, women that really need help somehow seek me out on Facebook or seek me out on LinkedIn or whatever. And business owners all know by looking at my background what my strengths are and what they're looking for. And I get a link. And in 4 months, I have 10,000 followers now. So that's, sort of crazy. But at the same point in time, I have conversations with everybody. And I'll start asking questions and we'll do these little 10-minute, I call them 10-minute Zooms, that we get to know each other and, do 2 or 3 of those a week or maybe 5 a week, whatever you have time for. And you really start building the know, like, trust. And then you get to a point where they're going to come up with a question and say, I think you can help me on whatever. Absolutely. So, I don't push anything about business. I want to know, like everyone said on this call, I want to know the person themselves. I want to find out about, their children, about their backgrounds, about, where did they get the idea to start? Just all the things that you want to know as a friend. So I think the friendships now are deeper because of COVID.
Yeah.
I actually think they are. I think you don't race off to, like you said, the seminars and stuff. You're actually getting to know everybody. I'm getting to know everybody, not everybody, but a lot more people around the globe. With those 10,000 people, absolutely. I probably know about 1,000 of them pretty well. And, we get comments back and forth all the time. So, and I've got a lot of business out of that too, because of that. So that's one thing I just want to let you know that, if you've got a platform that you're comfortable in, I don't have to advertise. I don't advertise. I don't even care. And because I don't care, I end up with business. I'm serious. I'm absolutely serious. I don't go out and post ads on Facebook or anything else. I'm not desperate. I don't care. I genuinely, what you have to do is genuinely care about people, not about yourself.
Yeah.
And when you see narcissistic people posting every 10 seconds and running those ads, they're out to make money. They're not out to help.
Yeah.
And they don't have the backgrounds. They're right out of college. Maybe they didn't even have college. Who knows? But they don't have 25 or 30 years or 40 years of experience of life to really be able to help anybody because they've been through it all. You know what I'm saying? So I see where we add value, and that's what you need to do is add value to that person so that, you're not, running that ad and saying, oh, at least I'll get one person in a week, and it's like, crazy. That's crazy. Um,
I had
So-
I had a contact from a relationship coach who pitched to me, and she said, "Do you want relationship support and advice?" And it turns out that she was born 5 years after we got married. It was like, no, I don't think so.
that's the thing right there is,
Yeah.
you know, what value do they add?
Exactly. Right.
And what kind of experience do they have
Yeah.
to help people get from their 20s to, you know, like in your 40s or 50s, the things you already know, the businesses you've already run, the companies you've already been working for. You know, I've had 8 jobs, okay? And I probably would have been an entrepreneur a lot sooner if my mother didn't discourage me. But you know, it's just some of the things that you learn and you know. And I think that's why they're pushing so hard for, oh, I've got to be on this platform. I've got to be on that platform. I've got to be on Instagram. I've got to be, you know, you can't be everything to everybody. You've got to be desperate and you look desperate. And if you're not getting to know the people and get to know, like, and trust, there's nothing there. I don't see long-term relationships that way. I don't see people having confidence or faith in, you know, using you as a coach, as a business coach or a life coach or anything.
I think talking about
They don't know you.
talking about being desperate. I think Gareth is desperate for a glass of red wine because it's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday.
I think we should wrap it up. Actually, we're up for time anyway, so I think we should wrap it up. So Gareth, happy birthday! I really appreciate you being on the conversation
Lovely.
with all of us.
Say to you. I
And
really hope you had an amazing day and that this year will be exactly the year that you wish for.
absolutely,
It will be.
there you
I
go.
know it's
And
gonna be.
Michelle, we're local. I mean, I know Koblenz as well. I know Koblenz reasonably well. Oh, look at that! A good bottle of wine over in Ecuador as well. Let's share the wine.
This is Ecuadorian wine from Loja, and it would be my gift to you. But the problem is, I don't know how to get it there. So
That's fine.
anyway,
Thank
and
you
it's
very
not
much.
open. It is not open.
A
Okay,
virtual-
it would be my gift to you.
A
Okay, so,
virtual wine. Virtual
you
wine.
know,
Fabulous.
enjoy the day. Thank you, guys. It's been a great meeting.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
this is Ecuadorian wine.
Excellent. What a good choice. And Michelle, maybe we can meet up for a proper coffee at some point in Remish on the banks of the river or something when we're allowed to. That would be great. But we're connected anyway, which is great. So good to see you.
Yeah, sounds great. So for today and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. And we're back with next week. We're back. We'll send the invites out. We're back next week talking about sales and conversion. So we'll get the invites out and hope you can join us next week as well. Same time, same channel.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.